In this video, I'll tell you the AFL side that I feel has lost its soul, how their arch rival could show them the way forward, and I'll show you my rebranded mascot and 6 set of guernseys for this team. That team is my own Fremantle Dockers. The change to the chevrons made sense back in 2011, and was the right move at the time, but I compare it to a kid going through their teen years or 20s and maturing, going through that period of self-discovery and eventually coming back to their roots, having grown and taken something with them from that period. Funnily enough, West Coast actually had a strangely identical period through their teen years. Their first 13 seasons were in the iconic wings in some form. The tri-panel took over for the next 15 years before returning the wings in 2016, led in large part by a fan-led campaign. By this point, the footy club was about 30 years old. Compare that to Freo, who played their first 15 seasons in the OG red and green anchor and have since played the next 15 seasons in the chevrons. Now, at 30 years of age, I think it's time for Freo to return the anchor. One of the criticisms of the old anchor design was the negative imagery that an anchor around the neck could represent. The idea being that it weighs you down. I actually think it could be seen as a unique symbol of strength. It takes someone pretty strong to wear an anchor around their neck and not even feel the weight of it. That symbolism is already a key element of the club, whether it's raising the anchor before every home game or even the motto the players use, which is "For the Anchor." Alex Pearce talked at the 2025 season launch about what that motto means to the playing group.
For the Anchor really represents our history and it really takes ownership of our history. Clearly when we started we wore the anchor, and at times that's been used as potentially a symbol that maybe it's weighed us down, whereas we try to take ownership of that and be really proud of our history. For the Anchor being a really strong message that underpins all of our behaviours is a look back at the players that have come before us and pretty much all of the Freo family that have been here since 1995.
Imagine how much stronger that sentiment would be if they wore a visual representation of that message on their chest into battle every week. Speaking of raising the anchor, let's talk about the bloke that actually lifts the anchor up, the mascot Johnny Docker. Back in the 90s, Freo's mascot used to be a mean looking dude that was an actual docker. Johnny Docker, on the other hand, is a surfer dude. Now that might be a good representation of the chill, laid back Freo lifestyle, but it's not the most intimidating character to represent your team. So here's my first proposed change in this mini rebrand of the Freo Dockers. Give Johnny a full-on makeover. You can keep the long blonde hair, but make him look fierce and intimidating, like a god of the sea, kinda like the cool looking versions of Aquaman. And to top it all off, he wears an anchor around his neck, connecting to that symbolism we talked about before. Now let's get into the 6 guernseys that I think Freo should wear in 2026 and beyond. The home jumper is the old purple haze kit. It's the OG design in the modern day purple and white with a new anchor design based on the 3D anchor jumper from the 90s. For the clash jumper, it's still a mostly white guernsey, but the top front half of the jumper is purple because it looks great and the clash jumper could use a bit more purple. This jumper should also be worn with purple shorts as much as possible. Next we have the derby jumper. This is the original red and green home guernsey. I like the idea of this jumper being worn in Western derbies as it really represents the history of the rivalry, and in particular the first 15 years or so where the rivalry was at its most fierce. For the gather round jumper, we continue the trend of the black stealth guernsey, but similar to the clash jumper, we add a bit more purple to the top half. This is mainly because the purple on black isn't really visible from a distance, so add a bigger patch of purple to really make it stand out and not look blank from afar. Next we have the purple haze guernsey worn in Freo's annual charity game. Back in the 2000s, Freo wore the purple and white anchor jumper for the purple haze game, and it made it clear that it was a special occasion and not just another game. This new jumper re-establishes that tradition and gives you an almost purple stealth style guernsey that fits the theme of the purple haze. Now we have the retro round guernsey, which is in this case a faux back design based on the 90s 3D anchor, which is the only Freo anchor guernsey to not have the traditional anchor on the chest. This could be a fun opportunity to try out a new retro themed design. Let me know your thoughts on this mini rebrand in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.